Welcome everybody. So today we're going to start looking at the elements of art. Specifically today we're looking at line. So find this page in your sketchbook, and then as we follow along, make sure you're highlighting, and then you're going to do your own drawing as we go through this. So according to, the main definition, math, a line is a dot moving through space and it's one-dimensional. Now, for artists, we have a lot of things that we call lines that mathematically aren't lines, but for our purposes, they are. So for us, lines can have personality. They can create outlines, which can then be turned into silhouettes. We've got contour lines and sketch lines. So go ahead and highlight that a line is a dot moving through space. And then for line personality, so lines can make you feel stuff, or they can express an emotion. They can have a personality. So highlight has a personality, can express emotion, can be thick or thin, have color, or be dotted or dashed. So I've got some examples over here of different kinds of lines. We've got vertical lines and thick and thin, horizontal lines, diagonal lines. We've got some zigzag lines and curved lines. So over on this little box, I want you to think of some other types of lines that have some type of personality. So I want you to think about thick and thin. Okay, so if you were going to draw an apple that had line personality, and you can draw whatever you want, right? You would want to have some areas that had thicker lines and some areas that had thinner lines. So I might just like widen my line on that side. Maybe I'll make this part a little wider. And then maybe I'll make this part up here a little bit wider. So I've had thick areas and thin areas. I could do that. I could also decide maybe instead of making this an apple, maybe I want to make it a pumpkin, and I want to add in a zigzag line and a couple of eyes, right? And those would still be lines. Now for outline, so a line that defines the outer edge of a silhouette, or the line made by the edge of an object. So it's basically if you can see the object and you can see something in the background, or like a shadow is a good example. But if you can see the object like this bird, and then it's significantly different from the background, and this part doesn't have any detail, that's a silhouette, right? Now an outline, if I was gonna do the apple, so the outline of an apple means that it doesn't have any interior details at all. So it might look like this, okay, if I was doing an apple. Now a contour line, this is going to help demonstrate both of these. A contour line is a line that describes the shape of a figure or an object and also includes interior detail. So, and the lines can vary in thickness, they can have line personality, but the example is a cartoon. So if you're drawing a cartoon of a person, it's gonna look different than if you draw if you sketch out a person. So if I did the contour line of an apple, then it's gonna look more like that first one that I drew, where it's gonna have like more detail. There's gonna be stuff on the inside, right? I'm gonna have the little lines for the leaf and things like that, okay? So an outline is purely the outer edge of an object. A contour is the interior details and the outline, so it's basically a cartoon. Now our last one we're going to look at, the sketch lines. So sketch lines are a quick line that captures the appearance of an object or the impression of a place. So many times these lines appear scratchy or scribbly. And remember, if you want credit for this, make sure you're highlighting and drawing a picture, okay? So like this one right here looks a little bit more sketchy. You can see like there's a lot of like correction. So if I was doing an apple and I was trying to sketch an apple and make it look more realistic, then I might adjust what I'm doing a little bit more often, and it's a little bit quicker, right? And I might also add in, you know, like, oh, maybe I'll have some shading over here. There might be a little bit more stuff added to it, okay? So we just looked at line, right? One-dimensional, a dot moving through space. It can have personality. It can have, you know, an outline is the outer edge of an object. The contour line is basically like a cartoon, and sketch lines are fast drawing that can occasionally look scratchy or scribbly. All right, thanks everybody.